welcome to those who are signing in. Wait several minutes before we get going here. I think we got a couple minutes to go. And we'll start on our exploration of waking up. Hello, Leslie. Welcome. Hi, Diane. Steve, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Scott, Steph, Benny. Tracy, hello, welcome. Steve, hello from Winona, hello from La Crosse. Just take this time, as we usually do, starting out with Zen Times, to just begin to bring ourselves back to our sense of presence. A few nice deep breaths. Just getting settled in. The next half hour to explore more of what we explore in Zen Times every other week. Hello, Brian. Welcome. Hi, Deb. Good to see all of you signing in. Welcome. Okay, hello, Martha. Welcome, good to see you. We'll get started here as people continue to sign in. Take a moment and allow yourselves to bring your awareness back to your physical presence. As we always start with Zen Times, it's a matter of just kind of coming back and remembering our physical space, the place that we occupy. Bring our awareness to how our feet are feeling wherever they may be, our legs, our hips, our torso. Hello, Sandy. Our shoulders, our neck, our jaw, and just bring our attention back to our physical presence, wherever that may be, where we may be sitting or laying. And just be aware, without any kind of adjustments, judgments, or reactions. This is just how our physical presence feels. Nothing more, nothing less. And as we remember our physical presence, hi, Karen. Remind ourselves to come back home. We spend so much time and energy out there, busy, active, engaging, that in our work, our spiritual work, our personal work, however you define it is important that we take that time to return. Come back here, come back to not only our physical presence, but the anchor, our breath. And follow that out breath each time to a quieter and more quiet place where you can rest, where there are no demands or expectations of doing anything, going anywhere, being anything. Just that quiet place, calm. At the end of that out breath, just rest there until it's time to take an in breath, then do so. But to return back, and our breath is that anchor to return, to come back here, because this is where it all starts. How we are in our sense of this presence has an influence in how we are out there. So let's just take a few moments. Remember our physical presence, our physical being, and return back to our breath. And that out breath, gently reminding us to return. Return. Cultivating a deeper sense of our own emotional emotional, physical, spiritual presence, is the foundation, the groundwork for us to explore more deeply, to understand more completely. Cultivate a sense of wisdom. Okay, sound the bowl and just allow that to begin to gently invite you back to a sense of wakefulness and curiosity. So, the topic for tonight is wake up. What does that mean? As I have mentioned in several other Zen Times, there's a commercial aspect in terms of achieving enlightenment or wakefulness or peace or joy or fulfillment or what have you. That if we practice certain things, these things will come to us. Consider for a moment, just for a moment, what if you were already there? What if you were born already awake? But it's been our journey through our lives, where we have learned to think differently about ourselves based on religious, cultural, sexual, political learnings, to mention a few, that we've come to believe something about ourselves that draws us away from our deeper understanding that we don't have to go anywhere. As beings, we are already there. There's no 10 steps. There's no recipe. Our being alive is an expression of it, of that sense of already being awake. Now, so what does being awake mean? Well, if any of you can define that for me, please let me know. But I will share some things that I hope will be somewhat useful. When we find ourselves struggling or suffering, it's because we are resisting. We are saying that the way life isn't the way we want it to be. And in the writings of the Four Promises, Ruiz talks about the agreements we have to make with reality. Reality won't bend to us. It will continue to emerge and flourish and express. And it is up to us to decide how much we want to participate in that. And when, as Ruiz talks about, we remain asleep, moving through our lives with a sense of not wanting to participate, not wanting to, as Rene Descartes said way back when, awaken from our dogmatic slumbers and to see things as they are and to participate with a greater sense of wonder and of curiosity. So think for a moment. What if there was really nothing wrong with us? That we, with our bumps and bruises, our wonder, our talents, our limitations, is just how it is, and how do we work with that as we move through how our life unfolds. So consider that if we were to take the gas off, take our foot off the gas, stop pushing, stop resisting, and recognizing that as human beings, we are an expression of the beings, and our attempts to try to fix ourselves. And I've said this before in other Zen Times about the whole self-help movement that says, well, you're not quite the way you should be. If you follow these steps, maybe you will be. And it's based on the idea that we are inherently defective. But what if we're not? Doesn't mean we're perfect. Doesn't mean that we're not without faults or struggles or histories or difficulties. But what if none of it needs fixing? It just means being able to embrace. And waking up simply means to stop the fight. Stop our ego's insistence that it's got to be more my way. And waking up simply means take that deep breath and recognize that being a human being is just as it should be. And our journey is to navigate with great skill and patience and compassion for ourselves and for others. Waking up simply means this is the way it is. How am I going to show up? So waking up in many different ways means to show up. To show up with patience and openness, with curiosity and wonder, and with that inherent acceptance that we don't run the show. We're just part of it. We don't call the shots. We're not in charge of all of this. We're participants. And how to embrace our inherent understanding so that what we offer each moment, each individual situation, our interactions with individuals, can be. Something that reflects that awakening. To wake up is not an end game. It's not something you achieve. It's not something that if you read a certain book or go to a certain workshop or retreat or Zen Times that you will achieve. It's just simply recognizing that often we view ourselves and our situations through a lens of decades of conditioning and understanding and teachings and ideologies and philosophies and opinions. It's a wonderful saying and one of the elemental teachings of the Zen tradition that says, do not seek the truth. Simply cease to cherish opinions. And if we dropped our opinions about our experience, that's when we begin to approach that sense of being awake. Not as an end point, but as a sense of being able to stay with what is arising with great patience and openness and compassion. So take a moment now and just get yourself comfortable as we end tonight with a brief meditation. Get yourself comfortable. Remember your physical presence and just be with that. Without judgment, just this is where I physically am. This is the space I occupy. To return to our breath. Come back home. So that we can embrace, do not seek the truth, but cease to cherish opinions. And that allows us to be able to expand and recognize that we are a part of something to participate in, not to judge, not to resist, not to have opinions or judgments about whether it's going the way we want it to. So, bring the out breath back and rest. As we settle into a greater sense of inner awareness, to remember that it's never been about being perfect, but it has been an invitation to embrace with wonder and patience, and sometimes even a sense of humor, because we as human beings can make such big deals of things, which interferes with us being able to participate. With patience and an emerging wisdom. So each time you find yourself returning to the end of your out breath, just sit with that. With permission and the courage to see things as they are, as opposed to how we would like them to be. And while not wanting to minimize, this is what waking up is all about. It's not about having any kind of anything except that being at peace, recognizing when our opinions are interfering with our awareness, with our consciousness. When we become attached to what we think about things rather than how we're relating to things. So rest with patience. The end of that out breath. And allow that sense of awakening to invite you. To participate rather than resist. Participate rather than resist. This is not always easy. Our conditioned mind, call it ego if you will, wants it to be a certain way. And that's what puts us in conflict with being able to simply be awake. And participate with how it actually is. And you can take time throughout the day and notice when you are cherishing your opinions about how you'd rather have it be, whatever the it be might be. And smile and say, oh, look where I've gone. And come back and follow the out breath down to that pause and rest with the question of, how am I going to participate with how it is? And without minimizing, that is a crucial first step of this whole idea of wake up. Is catching ourselves and smiling and saying, oh, look at this. And reminding ourselves. So in a few moments, as you allow this to settle into a helpful space, gentle reminder to take through the days, the hours, to keep ourselves in a state of reminding. We're not perfect. This isn't about being perfect. This is just about reminding ourselves. So let yourself begin to reorient. And as you move throughout your days, your weeks, your months, your life, waking up is about reminding. It's about reminding. Be gentle with yourself about reminding. It's not a matter of judging and saying, oh, I'm bad for this. It's just a matter of smiling and saying, yep, look where I went. And come back home. And remember, return, and remind. So thank you for tuning in again, Zen Times. It's wonderful to see all of you. And I will stay on for a while if you have questions or comments. If you have other questions, you can message me through the Zen Times site. Be happy to respond. So enjoy waking up. Hi, Gretchen. You're welcome. Yes, we are, Steve. You're welcome, Brian. Of course, Leslie. Glad you made it. Hi, Chelsea. You're welcome. Thank you, Sandy. You as well, Deb. Okay, Martha. Good. Nice. Well, as we wind down to the last few folks, just want to say good night, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another Zen Times. Thank you for joining.